Ooh.
Oh boy, recording in progress. Okay, it is competition night, June the 18th, 2021, and I want to welcome everybody here tonight. Got a smaller group than normal, but hopefully some people will filter in as time goes by. We don't have any truly new people. We just have Christy, who's been here before, but kept missing the meetings because I kept sending her the Zoom things to the wrong email address. So now we got her on the Google group, so she should be able to get to our meetings more regularly, right, Christy?
I was starting to wonder, you know, I was like, do you not really want me there? Should I just like give up? No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, so hopefully we'll see some more folks come on in during the next few minutes. But anyway, I mentioned this before, but I wanted, if you weren't here yet or weren't listening, the sunflower field that I've been shooting in, a couple of others, and I know Karen's been there, Helga's been there, Lee's been there, a couple others have been. If you're interested, it's off of I-4 you get off at McIntosh Road, go south on McIntosh. You cross over 92, which is about a mile off of I-4. And then a little bit further down, about a mile or 2 miles down the road on the right-hand side is a big, huge field full of sunflowers and zinnias. And there's a produce stand there. So they do sell produce, and you can go out there and there's plenty of parking. And you can go out in the field and take pictures. They have no problem with that. And you also can pick the flowers. They charge $1 a stem for the sunflowers, and the zinnias are for $1. And that helps them buy the seeds for the next year. They've never done this before. I have lived here over 35 years. It's the first time they've ever done this, and they say they will do it again. It's actually bringing them a lot of business that they normally wouldn't have this time of year, because it's strawberry field and big strawberry farmers. And so that they planted this big, huge section of their field, and this is really pretty. So if you're interested, I would say do it this weekend. They say the flowers will probably last another week, but you don't know. They may, they've got to replant at some point, whatever the next crop is. And so, but it's called Three Sons Farms. And like I said, it's on McIntosh between 92 and MLK. Okay, our assignments coming up. Obviously today's long exposure. July's is reflections. August is double exposure, and Robert has said that we could let people do more than a double exposure if they want to do multiple exposures. And then September is rainy day. So we get a lot of those right now. Be taking pictures. Utilize the rainy days that are happening right now.
It's raining.
Yeah, raining, and it seems like it's raining every day now. So anyway, it's, the rainy season has started. The technical nights. The June one is going to be next weekend, and we'll go over that in more details in a minute. July is going to be wildlife photography with Moose Peterson. August is capturing motion, which is actually the assignment for October, I believe. And that one's going to be Robert and Jim. And September, Colleen Muniak, is going to be coming back. We haven't tied down a subject yet, but she's pretty good at speaking, so we'll come up with something good. Colleen spoke for us last year and did a great job, and she was the unlucky person that got stuck with the Zoom bombers. So hopefully we won't have that happen this time. And then in October, Jerry Jones is going to be doing glass refraction photography, which is really kind of a cool thing that you can do actually inside your house with your TV. So it's a kind of something different to do for photography. So talking about next Friday, instead of a technical night, we are going to be doing a shoot in Clearwater. Let me share my screen real quickly here. And let's see here, where is it? Oops, not that one. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here is the information. It's on the website if you haven't already seen it. And we're going to be meeting down here at the base of the bridge in what's called Memorial Park. And right along, all along here is, there's a dock that goes out to there's also a place right here by the dock. And it's all open, so it'll be easy to see anybody that's staying there, but there's a dock that goes out to the yacht club. And what we're gonna do, here's the map. We'll meet in this area here where the little red thingy is. And then we'll be shooting along the waterfront. And then there's parking right here. And there's parking along the Drew Street, which is right here. So you shouldn't have any problems parking. And then we'll be shooting along the waterfront up underneath. This bridge gets lit up at night, as you can see from this picture that we got from Jim McWilliam. So it's really kind of a cool place. So be sure to bring your wide angle lens, your tripod, obviously, if you're going to be there for a little while in the evening, and bug spray, because it's probably going to be a lot of mosquitoes out there. So that is for next week. Does anybody have any questions about next week?
How
I
much
would
is
just
parking?
I would recommend instead of meeting by the red thingy, we meet at the entrance to the pier that goes out into the water. That would be an easier place for people to recognize.
Yeah, that's right here.
Yeah,
It's actually right next to the memorial park. So it's right there. So see where that little dock or that pier goes out into the water next to the bridge? We meet right there at the base of that. And I don't know that there's any, Brian, are you aware of any charge for parking out there?
no,
I've never been charged.
there's
Okay.
a lot of free parking there.
Yeah, this is Coachman Park right here, which is a big athletic field. So they don't charge for anybody to park there. So that's right across the street. So you should be able to park in that big parking lot right there. Anything else? And Robert, do you have any comments or announcements?
No, not on my end.
Any of the other officers? Jack, anything to let anybody know on the membership?
No, we
Okay.
we could use a few extra members, get the word out, get your friends to take up a camera and come and join us. But
Yep.
no, we're doing well. Everything is copacetic.
Okay. Yeah, and we do have an ad hoc committee that's working on some fundraising. So we'll be talking about that more in the future. Also, the board is talking about some additional get-togethers, outings, just like this, other than on technical nights, basically on a Saturday or a Saturday evening or something like that. We're talking about a lot of different things to get together and shoot rather than having meetings get together, do more Zoom, keep doing the Zoom meetings for now, and then getting together and having some interaction with each other out in the open and doing things out that are beneficial and fun, and we get to have some personal time with each other. So that's all in the works, and we'll be making more announcements about those as soon as we kind of get some of that stuff more solidified with the board. Anybody else have any questions or any comments?
I have a question.
Sure.
When we're doing these get-togethers, I've been inoculated and all that, and I was just wondering what the club's I don't know, requirement, whatever you want to call it, for masks. I'm perfectly happy not wearing a mask, but I don't know what the consensus is.
I think most of us have been vaccinated. I'm not sure that everybody has been, but I would assume that if you're not vaccinated and you're with the group, that you would still be wanting to wear a mask. Obviously it's up to every individual, but I believe most of us have been vaccinated. So
we're good with not wearing masks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, really, the CDC says if you're outside, you don't need to. If you're
Works for me.
vaccinated. Yeah, if you're vaccinated, you don't need to. All right, anything else? And we're glad to see our buddy Jim is back tonight, Mr. Sykes. He barely made it back. He's cramming his dinner down his throat right now because he just got home. But he did do.
I'm here.
He did pre-judge as well as Robert, so I didn't have to judge this month. Yay! And now Jim Hagan is going to be our third judge for a competition tonight. And Jim, I need you to be able to. What you're going to do is you're going to send me a score of between 6 and 9 well, like 7.4 or 7.6 or whatever, something point something. And you need to send it to me on a private chat. So you need to pull up your chat and then just put Lynn, put Lynn as, instead of everybody, you need to send it directly to me. So go ahead and let's test that real quick.
And also, if he has any images in there,
Oh yeah. If you have any images in there, then you put in 0 for your images, and it's an average between the other two. So go ahead and send me one real quick, a private one, just a test. Yep, got it. We're good. Okay, let me do a couple of things here. Okay, that's ready to go. And I'm going to start sharing my screen of Lightroom. This, and this, and this. Okay. Okay, can you guys see my Lightroom?
Yep.
Okay. All right, this was the first one. It's called Twilight at Hudson Beach. All right, I can't find the chat now. Where'd it go? Try to use different screens here. It's not helping me any. Hold on a sec, guys. We have to go through this every time. Why is the chat not showing up? There it is. Okay, got to put it on the other screen. All right. Hold on a sec. Okay, the score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Jim Hagan. Next one is Rocks and Eddies. And remember the subject this time is long exposure. Score is 23. That's an award for Diana. This one is Swirling Waters. Score is 22. That is an honorable mention for Diana. Next one is Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Liwen. Next one is Midnight Couple. Oops, sorry. Score is 21. That's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is Morning Wave. Score is 23. That's an award for Lee Win. Next one is Welcome to the Crazy Side. Oops. Let me hold on a second. Got it increased in size here. There we go. Now you can see the whole thing. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Lee Brand. Next one is Vortex. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Brian Schneider. Next one is Secluded Waterfall. Score is 24. That's an award for Jack Maniscalco. Next one is Liquid Light. Score is 23. That's an award for myself. Next one is Minnehaha Falls. Score is 23. That's an award for Lee Brand. Next one is Into the Maelstrom. This is Altered Reality on a composite. Excuse me. Score is 23. That's an award for Jim McWilliam. Next one is The Flower Field. It's Altered Reality, obviously. Score is 23. That's an award for myself. This one is called Guitar Man. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Karen Robinson. Bulls Island Sunrise. Score is 23. That's an award for Caesar Sharper. And the next one is Elapsed Time Alter Reality Composite. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Jim McWilliam. Okay, that is all of the assigned. So I'll move on to general. First one is taking it easy. That is a score of 22. It's an honorable mention for Jim Hagan. Next one is no vacancy. Score is 21. It's an honorable mention for Diana. Arriving at the station. Score is 24. It's an award for Doris. Next one is Yellow Crowned Night Heron. Score is 21. It's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is Young Couple in the Forest. Oops. Score is 21. It's an honorable mention for Fong. Next one is Morning Ski-Doo. Score is 21. It's an honorable mention for Brian. Next one is Defying Gravity. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Sherry Halstead. Next one is Jim Bob's. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Karen. Next one is Weathered Barn. Score is 23, and that's an award for Jack. Next one is Early Morning Light. Oops. And this is infrared. Score is 23. That's an award for myself. Next one is Purple Mountain Majesty. Score is 23. That's an award for Lee. Gathering Pollen. Score is 21. It's an honorable mention for Sherry. Next one is Florida Farm in the Morning. Score is 22. It's an honorable mention for Lewin. Next one is Conundrum. Score is 24. That's an award for Jack. This one is Eagle Dinner. Score is 24. That's an award for Caesar. Next one is Sandpiper Feeding on the Beach. Score is 24. That's an award for Caesar. And this one is A Tree at Circle B. Score is 22. That's an honorable mention for Karen. And that's it, guys. Do we want to take a break before we do the critiques?
Hey, Lynn,
Yeah.
the two that you have for me, that's not
Yeah.
me, it's Doug's.
Oh, okay.
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 So if you can
All right.
switch-
I'll change those in the on the score sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Break time, break time.
Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll be back here at 7:45, a little more than 5 minutes.
Hey, Jeffrey Tubman's not on this meeting, is he? If nobody got that, I'll explain it next time we see each other.
Yep.
Some people got it.
How you been, Sherry?
I'm doing a little better. I had I had that cardiac ablation 2 weeks ago, another one.
That sounds like
So-
rivers of fun.
No, it wasn't. This one was much rougher than the first one I had.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Are you doing all right?
well, they corrected the problem, but it was like I was under anesthesia for 7 hours, and that was not great. And I'm very weak, so I'm getting
Glad to see you
better every
here.
day,
Yeah.
but
I-
I'm not up to snuff right now.
Well, we're glad to see you here.
Yep,
Yeah,
sure.
it's good to see everybody.
I think it was you that introduced me to this club.
Yeah, it was. Dug
It's
it
your
up.
fault. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
Hey, don't blame the messenger there. And Rod also.
Yeah.
How are you, Rod?
Oh, there's Rod.
Yeah, he's
You gotta
muted.
You gotta take yourself off of mute.
Jerry, how are you feeling?
I'm doing better. I'm doing better. Hopefully, every day I get a little bit better, so hopefully I'll be okay.
That's good.
Jim, are we gonna see you on Friday? Jim
I
Sykes?
can't guarantee it, but I'm gonna try.
Okay.
How was your trip back, Rod? Back home?
Oh, is that to me?
Yeah.
Fine. Fine, I'm back in Wisconsin now. Little late to the meeting because I forgot I'm Central Time.
Oh, yeah.
It's only 6 o'clock here.
Oopsie. Oopsie.
So you guys are sort of into the future.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, we're good at that future thing.
Yeah, so what's gonna happen in the next hour?
Critiques, maybe.
No, I mean, it's only 6:30 here. It's
Only
7:30
6:30.
there.
Oh my
so-
gosh. Competition.
We want to surprise you, Rod.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you.
I wasn't sure the Zoom app would work. I've got slow internet, an old computer.
That's pretty darn good from this end.
I didn't have Zoom loaded, so I had to load up, download Zoom, and things seem to be working fine.
Well, I'm glad we could do this meeting because I was putting up 1,200 feet of fence. It kept me busy all week. Actually, a couple weeks.
This is the worst time of the year to be putting in fence.
Trust me, I only do it in the morning. At 10:30, I'm done.
I track my expenses in Quicken and I ran into a couple bugs, and in the last 13 days, I've spent 16 hours on the phone with Quicken tech support trying to get them resolved, and they still haven't. I got to call them again on Monday.
They probably won't answer.
Yeah.
No, actually, I've got an appointment. They're going to call me.
They're probably not gonna call.
Yeah.
No, they were supposed to call me on day before yesterday, and they did. So I have every reason to believe they'll call me again.
Man, you must have some good financial dealings going if you've been on the phone with them 16 hours trying to resolve that $4.8 million of yours.
I'm just trying to figure out when I can afford to retire, and there's bugs that are making the reports incorrect, and I don't want to make bad decisions and retire and find out, whoops, Quicken screwed me, and now I really shouldn't have retired yet.
Yeah, rich people's problems.
Must be.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, Jim Hagan, we want you to chime in on the critiques too, not just Jim and Robert. So, and anybody else can make comments if you're willing, want to as well. We want everybody to participate in this.
I can give it a shot.
Okay. It's all part of the deal here, part of the learning process. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Oops. Okay, here's the first one. This one.
The develop module, Lynn.
Pardon?
Can you go to the develop module?
Okay. You can come in if you want to. I can give you permission to come in on my computer if you want to.
You mean I could drive your develop module?
Yep.
Oh,
Ooh,
well.
that sounds really good.
Not that I really need to on this.
Okay.
My suggestion with this is these elements in the foreground here.
Yeah.
I like having a foreground element. However, there's too many. I would just spot out and possibly leave this. And if I were ambitious and this were my image, I'd actually even go in Photoshop and I would take this content aware move and move it down to here after taking the other things out and put it right about here.
Okay, we can't see what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But in any case, I'd move it to the right and down a little bit.
We're talking about the poles?
The very top two rocks.
These two?
Yeah, those two. I would move those to the right and down a little bit. I would leave those and spot out the rest and leave
get rid of all these. Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, in that,
once that was the only ones left, I would reposition it.
Well, this was my first endeavor into using an ND filter as an ND10, and it was a twilight, obviously. So as you see, it's like 88 seconds or something. But
I love the smooth water.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw the rocks, but I left them in there because it was the only thing that kind of sort of gave it any motion at all. The clouds streaked a little bit, but like I said, first shot kind of sort of with an ND filter. that's why I put it out there.
Okay. Yeah. Good start. Just got to do a little post-processing there, Jim. Okay, next one is.
I have a question. What's how many stop ND was that? 6?
10.
Yeah.
10.
That was a 10,
I missed it.
a 10 stop. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about that 10-stop ND filter? I read an article recently that said that these ND filters have a tendency to put a brown or a tan coloration to the picture. Is that bronze look that you have, is that just from the sunset, or did the ND filter add to it? What do you think,
No.
Jim?
What I have is some case filters, and I did some research before I bought these things. And I guess it's the Lee, and I forgot the other brand that we're talking about, color cast and that type of stuff. But from what I've read, the case filters are not supposed to do that. You know, that's why I was using case.
Okay, so that tan color is what was there, not put on by the filter.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
I said that tannish color, or that beigeish color that's in the back and all over the thing, that is part of the scene and not something that the filter added to it.
If anything, that's what I added to it in Lightroom. Yeah.
Right. No, I just was wondering how true that statement was that was somebody published, that these ND filters have a tendency to put that tan color into the scene.
I'll tell you, Jack, it is true in some cases, but it's not hard to fix if it doesn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. Actually, in some photos, it's very desirable, as it is in this one. It's a beautiful sunset. Yeah. But I was
The
just
variable
wondering,
seem to be the worst at doing that.
sir?
The variable ND filters are the ones that tended to have more of the cast than the others.
I see.
And there's several brands now that have no color cast at all, which is really good.
And who is that responding?
Chris. That's Chris.
Yeah. Oh, okay, thanks, Chris.
Hey, I have a 10 I can loan you if you want to try it.
Yeah, I have one in order. I'm going to find out.
Okay.
Okay. How about this one?
It's a great example of what the assignment is within this image. Lynn, if you want to turn on crop, I'm going to show you something. Just bring it up from the bottom and go and stop right there. Yep. Okay. Because what I'm seeing in here, there's a fantastic diagonal going on here now that contributes a lot less to the image in the original crop. However, this diagonal there's a diagonal that works through the frame. You can't see my mouse. I just realized that from top left to bottom right, there's a nice diagonal in this now.
Yeah, there's a diagonal, but there's also almost like an S curve too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can see that there, following my cursor. Yeah, definitely better chopping off the bottom of it.
Yeah, I agree. I debate it. And the only reason I stuck the bottom, I have to tell you personally, with this assignment, because we did slow water or whatever we did water last month, it was really hard to, unless you got out there and I don't know, I just found it hard to do it. And so the only reason I stuck the bottom on it was because it was showing a slightly different pattern of what the slow motion does at the bottom of the water. But I totally agree. I love the crop much better. And when I go to print it, that's what I would print. But yeah, so it was tough. Thank you.
Any comments, Robert?
Yeah, technically well executed, Diana.
Thank you.
Was this a ICM?
I don't know. I don't know. it was the first thing I found and I'm like, oh crap, at least it's got movement. And it's
This is,
slow. It's probably ICM now that I look at it, but it was water.
Yeah, it's a fantastic abstract pattern. And one of the things that really helps it work as an abstract pattern is it does, even though it's an abstract pattern, it has a hero, that big gold swoosh, you know, kind of front and center there. I would suggest if you want to print this or do something more with it, burn down the lower left corner somewhat.
On the left corner. I did that already, Jim, and it was tough. Thank you, though. So can I ask if I submitted it for this, can I submit it for abstract? Or no, because you told me what to do with it?
Well, it's all, you can't use.
You can't resubmit an image.
Yeah, you can't resubmit an image.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So burn down the left, right?
Burn down the lower left corner, yeah.
Yep, I agree. Thank you.
Speak, people.
Well, in this particular image, when I looked at this one, I quite honestly, I didn't see a lot of motion. You know, I didn't see the long exposure, even though it does say, what, 15 seconds? I just didn't see it in the image. I see the lights on the bridge and all that, but
Oh, we're here.
Cars.
The headlight trail and the taillight trail are
trails.
the only indication of motion. However,
and in the water.
The indication of motion there does not significantly contribute to what the composition is. I agree with what you're saying.
Robert, anything?
Yeah, I wish those highlights could have been controlled a lot better. It's burnt down. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah, there's nothing up. It looks very white and it's not up against the edge, so there's nothing there to pull down all the way.
Yeah, that's my the reds are good. The whites are out.
Yeah, you see here, it's all the way over to the right. But even when I pull it back, even though there's white there, it's not going. So that means that there's no information in those white spots.
Right, right. Lovely shot, though.
Jim?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Jim.
Okay.
We got a motion problem here.
Yeah.
None.
Even though the timing says long exposure, there's nothing that indicates that this has anything to do with long exposure.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the assignment to you. Make an exposure a half second or longer, which this matches that part. And then the remainder is in such a way that the length of the exposure contributes substantially to the appearance of the subject. The length of the exposure does not contribute at all to the appearance of the subject.
I lost. So I use this as third 1 of 30 seconds is qualified that. What another request? I don't understand.
You're at half a second. And now let's just say hypothetically the birds were flapping their wings at that. Then it would show some motion or movement. But here it says no, the birds, they're so static. There's nothing that looks like it's moving.
They've been it looks like they've been frozen with a flash.
Yeah.
Which is exactly
What's happening?
counter to what the assignment was, which is that the length of the exposure contributes substantially to the appearance of the image.
I think the listeners want to use those exhibits if we ever get back to doing prints again.
How about if you use infrared, did water is qualified? I did another picture.
No, I mean that the water is not showing any motion either. It's just kind of like bubbled up. You know, look at the water here. It's all stopped and it's moving. And that
Oh,
like
okay,
stopped,
I
it's like
understand now.
stopped, even though it's a half a second, it stopped the water rather than making it look like it's moving.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm curious, did you actually use a flash on this?
Yeah.
It sure looks that way.
Yeah, it looks like a flash. All right, next.
This is a beautiful composition, beautiful example of the motion contributing to the appearance. I love the foreground element of the rock place there. Lynn, can you do something?
Sure.
Grab an adjustment brush, make it really big, and push the contrast on it and paint it over the dock. And try dehaze. Try adding dehaze on that brush now. There we go.
Definitely helps.
I
Yeah,
have a
because it's a little,
question.
Yeah,
it's a little flat. Yeah.
the dock was a little flat, you know, and that helps it contrast somewhat with the, you know, that it's not in motion versus the water is in motion.
Or like I do a little bit of that on these waves too. I think just gives it a little bit more depth.
It's a beautiful image.
Yep.
Can you guys
What
help
was
me out?
what was the shutter speed on that one?
1/5 of a second.
Okay.
There was a question out.
I have a question. I'm trying to, I guess, understand the differences in the assignment, because last month the assignment was flow, right? So it was water and the movement of the water.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we're doing long exposure and you're not shooting water, the long exposure would have to show movement, or would the long exposure be shown by, if you didn't use the long exposure, the picture would be black. There'd be nothing there. So you need the long exposure to, you know, like if you're shooting at night and you want to shoot lights and they're not moving.
Yeah, well, you're looking, but the description asks for a show of movement.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
The description specifically says, you know, make an exposure of a half second or longer in such a way that the length of the exposure contributes substantially to the appearance of the subject.
Okay, so the only way it contributes that would show that is if there's movement, and not if there's, you know, if
Not
you had,
necessarily, because for instance, in Jim Hagen's original picture, the twilight at the Hudson Beach, the length of the exposure actually makes the water perfectly smooth and still and calm, but that is a result of the length of the exposure. You see no motion in that water due to the fact of the long exposure.
so what if there was no
not-
water?
So
and-
so don't necessarily think it's about necessarily showing water. That his example is a good example of the long exposure contributes to the appearance by actually removing the motion of the water.
Okay, because I'm just trying to figure out if you can do this with this assignment with no water.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are other examples of this. Water is one of the easiest things that people gravitate to, but as you'll see coming up, there are some nice examples of people not using water.
Okay.
Here's one.
Yeah, here's
Thank
one.
you. Yeah, that's what I was trying to clarify in my mind. Okay, I was just, thank you. I get it.
Yeah, it's just, it's a little, I mean, it was meant to, it sounds like an easy assignment, but it wasn't. Let's put it that way.
If you had trees moving, Lynn,
Yeah.
and or any kind of movement, flowers, trees, or anything like that, and you shot it at a 5-second exposure, you would have movement. It would definitely show differently than if you shot it at a high speed. So that would have
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that would have fulfilled the assignment.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to see it in a minute. So
yes, plants. Plants and trees are a good example that. I have a print I've sold many times of sea oats that was a 5-second exposure on the beach, and the just the movement of the sea oats on a dune, makes it a really interesting image.
And like for this one, for example, this is a 1 second 1 second exposure, but not only is it a long exposure, but the ride is moving as well. So it gives you that it is a long exposure, but it gives you that in this particular instance, it does give you movement, kind of like water does, but in an abstract way.
So why was this called altered reality?
This one wasn't.
Okay, one of them that I wondered why. Okay, never mind.
Jim, Robert, Jim, Ether Jim.
Yeah, it meets the criteria of the assignment, and the only real issue I had with it is, okay, you recognize, yes, it's an amusement ride, but once you recognize it's an amusement ride, there's a lot of imagery comes to mind that you see and has been done of amusement rides that, that have much more shape and swirliness and colors going on to it. This one is kind of an odd composition for an amusement ride, as far as using time, using the option of a long exposure to show an amusement ride. By comparison, it doesn't stack up to a lot of amusement ride images that you've seen, but it meets all the criteria of the assignment, and it's properly done.
Well, when I looked at this photo, I honestly didn't know what I was looking at. Now that you guys say it's an amusement ride, yeah, probably, but I actually thought it was a double exposure at the first.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure what I was looking at. The problem.
It's one of those things that it was moving back and forth and up and down, because I was there when he shot this. It was Lee's, and he's already checked out and gone off to do something else tonight. Yeah. This thing was like moving up and down, back and forth, and jiggling back and forth. I mean, it was moving all over the place. I don't know how anybody could ride something like that without losing their lunch.
Someone mentioned something about sharing something.
A what?
Sharing something. Said, can I share something? I heard that.
I was going to share something, as a visual comparison, but we don't need to take the time. We can move on.
Well, before we move on, let's move back just 1 second. The problem here with me is there are a couple of things. If you look in the upper half of the photograph, that's where all of the energy is. Everything is happening right there. But I'm thrown off by all of the stuff that's happening at the bottom that's much lighter, that has nothing going on. Absolutely nothing. So you're going to see that in a few of the photographs that are coming up, where
if that's any better.
that's a lot better. But by adding all of that other stuff that's down there, that's not contributing to
that's better.
To the force of what's supposed to be this movement is wasting canvas space to me. And yes, Lee, I said it, wasting canvas space. So just by simply propping away and getting to the heart and essence of this movement against the black is making this image a lot better. So Lee, you can shoot me. I don't care.
Later.
After Tuesday, please.
This one's called Vortex.
The crop is really interesting with this. The crop works well, and with this, and there is a good juxtaposition of the two elements, left and right side of this. One issue that I have, a little nitpicky thing, your eye still wants to jump to what's most in focus, which is that leaf stuck to the rock. And so the leaf stuck to the rock distracts me from what the overall image is. Take the leaf out of there, and you have a much stronger image here. The leaf and there's a little bitty thing sticking up on the far right past that rock there. take those two things out and
That would be
and
easy.
you've got
It's
something stronger
amazing what you
going.
see.
And burn down that bright area at the top.
Right here.
Okay.
Robert, anything?
Oh.
Robert, you there?
He's muted.
He's muted.
I was distracted by the very thing that helps to cause the swirl, and that is that log on the left-hand side. And
An alligator.
like as Jim has pointed out, the leaf is very strong, but the swirl itself and the hard object, the hard and the soft, was really good. That log was killing me on that side.
How do you
I'm
take
not
that
sure, and
out?
that would be kind of hard to remove, you think, in
Yeah.
that, because of the motion of the water?
Just indulge me, give me a prop all the way up to that top of that point. Just indulge me, just.
Where do you want to
the
go?
Left-hand side, pull it in. Just to there, that's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah, actually, that's better, not bad.
So it gives me a lead line out from that hard rock to that swirling water. And I know it's not a complete circle, Jim, so you can slap me too, but I think I just have a much stronger juxtaposition
Yeah.
In this case.
Yep.
Those are easy changes to make.
Yeah.
Next.
I don't like the fact that as much time as Jack has put into his practice, that he has turned out to be taking his photography to the point where he's now lazy.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
Whoa.
ooh, 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 ooh.
Not so much about the foot that's in there, but the fact that he bought this postcard and brought it in and put it in the competition.
I feel better now.
This was, you missed a foot over here, Jack.
That's not a.
That's a
that a
foot.
Is that a foot? I thought it was
That's
a
a foot.
stick.
That's a foot. Even if it was a stick, you don't want it there.
But,
this-
yes,
I was standing next to him when he was shooting this. This was not easy because people kept getting in the water.
yes.
Curtis helped Jack with this one, didn't he?
Yeah, Curtis effect.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Beautiful tones in this, Jack.
It is as a black and white monochrome image, it's beautiful.
Thank
Where
you.
is this taken?
That was in one of the falls in North Carolina.
Looking Glass Falls.
Oh my God, I've been there 100 times and it is impossible to shoot there because there are 4,444 people all in the middle of your picture
Yep.
doing
Well,
stupid stuff. And they're
fortunately, they
all-
were moving. They were moving, and I was able to take multiple shots to get them out of the way.
Yep.
Well, Robert's
But
Robert's
I missed-
suggested.
But I missed that foot. I didn't see that foot. Not a foot, really?
Robert suggested to me last week the last time was just throw rocks at the people. It was,
Well, I was
Get 'em
hoping
out of
they'd
there.
get cold enough to leave.
We had a hard enough time with this place. It was so crowded. Anyway,
All you have to do is yell shark.
shark. Yeah.
Or offer beer.
Oh yeah. Beer over to the left. Any other comments, Robert?
Jack, Jack, did
I
you,
thought it was a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
did you do light painting on this?
No, there was no light painting on that. I mean, it's photoshopped, but a Lightroom accentuated, but not at the time of the taking of the picture, if that's what you meant.
Was this
Yeah.
originally a color picture, Jack? And you
Yeah, it's originally in color, and then I converted to black and white, and accented. I kept thinking of Ansel Adams, what he would do. And I tried to get an Ansel Adams type appearance out of this thing.
You've
I
given
think
me.
he would have called you for advice, Jack.
Could have probably gotten out of the water.
I'm gonna borrow some of this idea for some of the shots I have from that area.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack, were you on the rocks or were you
Yeah.
right when you, okay,
No,
Good
we were all over those rocks.
down at the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he also had a vodka twist while he was there.
A what now?
A vodka twist on the rocks.
A vodka twist on the,
Okay.
my relationship with liquor is on the rocks.
That's okay. Lori and I made up for it.
Boy, you sure did. I had to drag her into bed last night. She was
Oh,
sick.
geez.
No, not really.
Owen just pointed me to the
walk.
bedroom. I just felt flat faced.
All right, next one.
Where is this, Lynn?
This was on the way to Catawba Falls,
Okay.
which is near Old Fort, which is over by where we were staying. This was actually just a little thing that was over to the side, and I stood there and like, oh my God, the light just started shining right through the hole in the rocks.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful, Lynn.
Yeah, very ethereal, soft look.
Uh-huh.
The shutter speed on that one basically turned the water into fog.
Yeah, I believe I can't remember. I think I had the 4-stop variable ND on this one when I took this one.
Yeah, and it's great that it didn't, overexpose and clip the highlights in the water doing that.
All right, Lynn, do me one favor on this, please.
Yeah.
Go all the way down to the bottom of calibrations.
Okay.
All the way to the bottom, all the way to the bottom.
No, this calibrate, it's right here. I have it at the top.
Oh, you have it at the top, okay. Then take your greens and push your saturations up.
Saturation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Push it a little more. Push it, push it, push it.
Not
All
that
right.
much green there, but I guess there's a little.
Right. Yeah, and that was all I wanted to see was
Okay.
that green just come up a little bit more.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
Okay. Anything else?
The bottom of the photograph, just for curious sake, could you crop it and pull it up to the bottom point of that?
Yep. Right there.
A little bit more to the point. That rock on the left almost looks like it's like floating, I'd pull it up another 1/4 inch or something. Yeah, so that's what I would look at.
I like that better. It gets rid of that brown stuff at the bottom.
Yeah, but you lose your base.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you.
I get paid a lot of money for this.
It's a beautiful shot.
And speaking of getting rid of brown stuff.
There you go. Thank you very much, Jim. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is our favorite falls in Georgia.
Yes, get rid of that base. I mean that piece.
This is where Lee went after he left North Carolina. He went to Georgia and to shoot Minnehaha.
Yeah, the bottom portion of that image doesn't jive with the rest of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just do me a favor, Lynn. You can go ahead and close that. But just take your mouse and put it halfway up the falls on the left. Up, just up, right up, just a little bit. All right, see right there?
Yeah.
Anybody that ever goes to that falls, if you climb up to there and shoot straight across it at a 90-degree angle instead of into the falls like this, you can climb all around up there and
Yep.
get all kinds of great sideways views of all those cascades coming off of there from up there where Lynn's mouse
Yeah.
is.
And if you stand
If
way
you ever
over
get-
here
if
to
you ever
the,
get there, remember that.
yeah, and if you stand all the way over to the right, then you get these great S curves going through the water.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's just a little bit too dead center, I think. I don't know.
Which waterfalls are these?
It's Minnehaha Falls.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that water all the way across the bottom there is only like, 3-4 inches deep all the way across. It's real
Yeah.
easy to just walk out there and stand in it and shoot it.
Am I the only one who sees a face in the section in the bottom? I see an old man with a beard.
Yeah, you.
Right here.
It's your reflection, Jim.
It's his
Might be a mirror,
nose.
yeah.
You're just seeing yourself, Jim. That's called pareidolia.
Okay.
What's in the glass, Jim?
That's a
Let me check.
three-letter acid that people did a lot
Oh.
of.
I'm really hallucinating now.
Yeah.
Whose image
Jim,
is
so
this
what
one?
did you make this out of?
This is, I use a walker if I'm gonna be on my feet for a long time. And I lashed my tripod to the side of the walker. And this is the light tunnel that was at Busch Gardens over the Christmas holidays. And I just
Oh.
walked around in the circle for, what's the exposure time on that?
We don't know.
Not
It
here.
doesn't show.
It's not there, really?
Secret, yeah.
It's several minutes, at least a minute.
But-
And I composited an earlier shot that had the images of the people walking into it.
And that was the brilliant move that really pushed this up a notch was doing that
Yeah.
placement of those people. That's
Yeah.
what that's what kicked this image up into the next level.
I have several of these, but this one seemed the most centered. It had that actual tunnel appearance in the, slightly diminished in the center, and I just figured I'd use this one.
Great,
I'd love to have pictures.
great creative process.
I love taking
yeah.
pictures like that. It's easy. All you gotta do is walk.
Who cares if it's focused?
Yeah, who cares about focus?
Focus, smokers. you
I'll
know?
remind you all, if any of you enlarge the image, you'll see that it is focused.
Ah, see, in your face, focus.
It is focused.
Yeah.
The little lights.
So when you say the thing about ICM is people always talk about not being focused, is that when you have those points of light and they show that they're sharp,
Yep.
it adds more dimension to it.
Yep.
So they are focused.
People watching him do that.
I look like the guy in Laughing on the tricycle,
You got a raincoat on?
I can be arranged.
That's funny.
I love that show.
Cool shot.
All right.
Are you printing out your walker?
This is what you do when the flowers are moving because it's windy.
I love that shot.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Did you do impressionism on this? Was this yours, Lynn?
Yeah, this was mine. No, this is straight out of the camera.
Wow.
That's a
Wow.
nice
With a little
Monet.
bit of contrast added.
That's a nice Monet.
Yeah.
Is that a lens
Beautiful
baby?
shot.
Do you have a lens baby on it as well?
No. Nope. This
Very
is straight,
impressive.
just a
What,
long exposure.
What camera was this done with, Lynn?
I don't remember. I don't know if I can't remember if it's the camera or, hold on a second.
The ISO 32 is intriguing to me.
Yeah, I think that was from the phone. Yeah, it's the phone.
iPhone, okay.
Yep.
All right, that meant that. Yeah, when I saw,
That's
I
a
saw
long
the,
shutter, the slow shutter
Mhm.
cam on the iPhone. Yeah,
Wow.
the flowers were not holding still, and I wanted to get something that was long, but I tried to get the wind. It was windy, but not windy enough. Let's put it that way. So I let the flowers move, but I also moved the camera at the same time for 2 seconds. So that's how I got that one.
Karen, I'm wanting to see, I'm not muted, am I?
No.
No. Okay. Somehow I wanted to see the hands more on top of that. What do they call that, a fret?
The fret.
Yes.
Yeah, more on top of it rather than on the side of it.
I agree with Robert. The fingers are just barely grazing the fretboard on the guitar.
Now, is Karen
Anything you
here?
want to say about that, Karen?
Yes. Mhm.
Was that your guitar, man?
Yeah.
And I think it would have been more effective too, Karen, if it seems to me like the guitar is actually a little soft.
It is because it moves when they.
Because
okay.
it moved as the hand was moving over the strings. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, I took about 100 shots, and each one, and this was about the most in focus, just because it's motion. That
So if you had taken two different shots, I'm just curious, like if you had taken a shot where the guitar was like he wasn't playing it, and then done one with the fingers and you superimpose it, which I don't know how to do yet because I know, but would that have still been an altered reality thing, or would that have worked?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, she could have done that.
Yeah, it would be tricky, but it could be.
Yeah.
It could be done, not easily, but it could be done and it would work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Lynn.
Yeah.
Zoom in on that first on the front tree right in the fork. And also, and then also zoom in on those trees over at the left, right around the horizon area. Can you go in one more level of magnification?
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Halo.
Halo.
Halos.
Oh my.
Yeah.
A little bit too much clarity going on here.
Yeah.
Wow, holy banana brains.
Well, I can even see those.
Well.
Practice.
Hey, I have a question. Are those shadows or reflections underneath the trees?
Both.
It's water and reflection.
It's both.
The reflection, yeah. So
now, beyond that obvious, the other suggestions I would make with this one beyond fixing those, because at a glance this is a gorgeous image. However, I would take out on the far left side, there's two branches just poking in out of the sky. They're unconnected to anything.
Right here.
They were very distracting to me.
Yeah, now zoom back out, Lynn. Okay, and also compositionally, I realize that I think this was Caesar's, that he was trying to keep that whole reflection of that foreground tree in there. But Lynn, go ahead and take your crop tool and bring it up past that thing that where the water comes in from the left-hand side. Just bring it up just a little higher, just past that. A little more, just a little more. Yeah, there. Now let's see that.
Well, I kind of missed the reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reflection is nice, but also you wind up with a lot of empty negative space in the lower left-hand corner of the image when you try to include that.
So using something that
That's
Robert
better.
copied,
Yeah.
Yeah, I could live with that. Where it was to begin with, all the way down, there's just a lot of negative space.
I mean, I don't know, would lightening this help?
Yeah.
To make it
A little bit,
more even to that?
That helps a little.
Yeah.
Hey,
Then this is the most contrasty part.
Yeah.
couldn't you just copy the water and move it over? Not using a cloning, but didn't we do that one day, Jim, on my photo from Thor's Row?
Yeah, but in this case, there's too much reflective detail in this water. It wouldn't work.
Okay.
Because you'd be copying reflective detail that wouldn't match up.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is really pixelated on this picture in the back, Jim McWilliams. What's going on with that?
It was just a background I tried to use.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to do something different. I tried to get a single 10-minute exposure, but you could hardly see the hands in that case. So I tried it at 1 minute, it looked good. 2 minutes, it looked good. 3 minutes was starting to lose the image of the hand. So I wound up doing 5 2-minute exposures with a single exposure straight up and down at 6.
Yeah, very interesting and creative concept. The symmetry of how it makes the whole thing look like a dart or an arrow was kind of interesting as well. Putting it together, Lynn, zoom in right underneath the 6.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Be aware of some.
I thought I had gotten all of those, but obviously I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad one of us is paying attention.
But it's a really interesting artistic concept, and great creativity went into thinking that up and putting it together.
Okay. Well, I did have a problem with the shot.
What?
The background you chose.
Yeah.
And then you chose a modern type of clock.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm a mechanical work type thing.
Yeah.
Versus a regular kitchen wall clock. But Walmart didn't have any of the mechanical kind. And they certainly didn't have any in their clearance aisle. So,
but I will tell you that eBay does.
If we're talking more than $1.98, I'm not interested.
Oh, dude. All right, guys, we got to move along. It's 8:30 and we got 17 more shots to go through. All right.
It's very static for me.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it's the sharpness, the at peace, but it's a little too static.
Well, the title is Taking It Easy. At least you titled it right.
Yeah, he did title it right. It's just static. I don't have any character of the bird or anything like that. It's static.
Yeah, it would be nice if there was some sort of gesture going on. I mean, these guys, pelicans, are notorious for, doing weird things with their beaks and gulping down fish and stuff like that. So
I turned this thing in because I particularly like this pelican. I didn't think about static or anything else.
It's okay. You can still like it.
He was just sitting there looking at me, so I had to take your picture.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got one that's in, full breeding colors too, which it would have been nice if he was turned a little more to the side so you could see a little bit more of his fancy colors. But other than that, it's a good shot of a pelican.
Next.
Now, this represents me when I was trying to move into the neighborhood over on the other side.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I almost didn't use it, but I thought that if I posted a regular static bird shot, you wouldn't, it would just get nailed because it's just a stupid bird shot by itself. So I tried to introduce action, and I knew I was going to hear it from you.
Hey, he's not saying anything about the picture yet, Diana.
Huh?
He's only making a social comment.
Oh, I know that. I know that. But believe me, that thought went through my head.
But it's a great story. The
Hey, Robert?
is a great story.
There goes the neighborhood.
I know, but you nailed it. That's what I was going to say, but then I really would have heard it from Robert.
Hey, Robert.
I was very politically correct with this.
Robert, that's your wife and him telling you there's no room on his vacation trip.
Oh, believe me. I I think this is a great story.
Yeah.
It is too funny, the story itself.
So why did I get nailed?
I don't even want to say I didn't nail you.
Somebody did. I got a 21. I have separation.
No, I don't know. Maybe Jim Hagan's gonna have to answer.
All right. Well, the bird, the blackbird is kind of sort of like a watercolor almost. I didn't see any clarity or sharpness in that bird. I mean, I didn't understand the blackbird. I got it with the title "No Vacancy." I thought that was pretty cute, but the bird
Zoom in
itself
on the bird, Lynn.
That's 200%. This is a small image. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty
Yeah,
out of focus.
I think Jim's seeing, some of that, these, those kind of, it does, what he's saying, it does look like it's a watercolor with the.
It wasn't.
You got flare coming. I mean, not flare. Lightly coming through that white on that black.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just.
I found the story compelling.
Yeah, story's good, but it's just, technically it's a little off slightly. But you're going to the right direction, Diana. You're getting there. You're seeing this stuff, and that's awesome.
Do me one other favor, Lynn. Just click on the middle bird near its head. Just zoom in there. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to see. Thanks.
It should be pretty sharp in there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I don't know, what were my settings on that, Lynn? Did I include them?
If you were at ISO 5000 at 700 millimeters, F10 at 3200th of a second. So you're at fast enough speed. Yeah. You should have to be though at 5000 ISO out in the open like this.
It was evening. It was dark.
Okay.
It was dark out at North.
That makes sense then.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no choice. And I tried to fix the bird up, trying to, dodge and burn a little. And then I just got totally messed up. So I'm like, okay, whatever. He's just a phantom. I should have said phantom fantasy or something like that. Anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Robert, we got to fix that bird.
Doris doesn't often enter something, but when she does, she likes to go all out.
This is fantastic.
I love
it. The story it tells, the picture it paints.
I know where this is.
And the tonal range and the contrast through this image is wonderful.
This was in Queens. Is that the Silver Cup sign?
Yes, it is.
Aha! Right there. You could smell the bread all the time.
Oh, the bakery's not there anymore, is it?
I know, but you can still smell the bread.
Oh.
That's right near my old house. That's the old 7.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I like I really enjoy the use that word again, juxtaposition of what looks like the old city in the foreground, and then as you follow that train back down the tracks, then you have all that new modern gleaming skyscrapers and everything contrasted with the with the old city up front.
Robert?
Was this handheld, Doris?
Sorry?
Was this handheld?
Oh, yeah.
I thought this was a great shot. I was trying to find something wrong with it, and I couldn't. I mean, I thought it was just a great shot.
Lots of things to look at, but not so much that it's confusing. So.
And all sharp.
Yeah.
I had to wait for a couple trains until I got the shot that I wanted. So.
Can you go up a little bit, Lynn? I want to see what the settings were. I'm just
I'm right there now.
No.
ISO 640 at F10 at 1/500th of a second.
Wow. So was it stopped, Doris?
No, it was just coming into the station.
So it was slow.
That was moving slow.
Right, it was easing into the station because
Right.
to get that kind of, wow, you got steady hands.
Yeah.
I'm glad this is black and white. I think color would
Yeah.
have taken away from the shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looks much better in black and white.
That's awesome. Awesome shot.
Thank you.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the finale fight in Highlander takes place on that Silver Cup sign.
What, sorry?
Oh,
yeah. That's indestructible bread.
Yeah.
Like gingerbread.
Is
In this
this-
particular,
What's interesting to me with this image, I think it has a pretty high shutter speed, yet it still has a look like there's like camera motion.
Yeah, it's like 1/320th of a second.
But it's also with a 400 millimeter lens. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
There's camera motion bar in this image.
And I think I would get rid of a lot of this stuff, Thong. You got way too
Yes.
much stuff going on in this picture. I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, ideally, you would not want this thing sticking here, but all this other stuff distracts from the bird. All this stuff here. So
Oh, I see.
well, then you already pointed out what I saw. That stick
Yeah.
was that was a distraction.
yeah,
And
there's
certainly on the
nothing. I
stuff on
mean,
the right.
yeah, the only way to avoid this is to move over and shoot him from, a couple of feet over to the side, and that may not have been possible. Yeah, the problem with night herons is they're almost always in amongst sticks. So I have a lot of shots of night herons, which I never show anybody because this is what they've got. They've got sticks all around them. And it's really hard to get a decent shot of these. I mean, it's too bad too, because they're gorgeous birds. I'm not sure what happened with this guy. I mean, there's a leaf right over his head. That's not a good thing. And I'm not sure. I mean, what is this? Is this like pixelated, Jim? It's weird looking.
It looks, the weird looking, looks as though it's been over sharpened, like even
sharpened,
possibly
yeah.
like with an AI sharpening program that locked in on those areas and over sharpened those particular areas. Being that it's AI, it did not sharpen overall, but locked into those areas and over sharpened.
Yeah, it definitely looks over sharpened in the face. And yeah, those AI programs, they zero in on eyes and faces, especially of birds. And that looks kind of like what's happening here. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Is that the case, Paul?
Fong, did
Is
you
that the
use
case?
artificial intelligence? Did you use like Topaz sharpen AI on this?
No, I don't know how to use Topaz.
Okay. So you just sharpened it with Lightroom or Photoshop?
Yeah, Photoshop.
Yeah, it's just
Because
it's
this on the Sunny Bear, so this Friday everything supposedly can drive a car, but this Friday cannot drive, just can walking through.
Yeah.
So too tired. I will find this two bird in the.
Yeah, it's way over sharpened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to know, Brian, talk to me on this image.
Talk to you on this image. I was
Yeah.
there. I was on St. Pete's Pier on sunrise, and I was looking for something unique to shoot. And this guy happened to be flying by, so I took a shot of him, and I thought it was pretty good, but obviously others did not.
Will you zoom in on the yeah, there you go, Lynn. Yeah, zoom in there. Mhm.
So he's like totally moving too much, huh?
It's the appearance of trying to freeze the action, but missing freezing the action.
Yeah,
The water, even it looks as though you are panning with the subject, because the water, even the water itself is showing that that motion blur.
yeah, it's only at 1/140th of a second. To stop something like this, you're going to need to be at least at like a 1/1000th of a second.
Yeah, it's not an actual panning shot, and it's not a freezing the motion shot. It falls in between, and that's wherein the problem lies.
So I needed a faster shutter speed.
Yes, or
Yeah.
you know, pan with the subject, you know, or freeze it.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's off. It's too slow for freezing it.
And we're going to be talking about capturing motion later on in this year in August. So we'll talk about this more.
Six more inches, I mean, a foot, 2 feet down, you would have convinced me.
I thought this would look better like this.
I'm wanting him to
without
break
anything
that.
underneath his feet.
I don't want his arms to intersect. I really want him floating somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah. I mean, Caesar showed, I think it was Caesar that showed us one of these last month.
Right.
And his had all the trees behind him. So she's got the advantage of not having the trees behind him, but he had the guy in a better position, I think. But he had the trees, and she's got the guy without the trees, but the position is actually it's Doug's. It's just that, yeah, he needs to be a little more down here. Because it looks like he's holding on to the
realize
ring.
he is in motion, right?
Yeah.
So you're not gonna.
Yeah.
Put that camera on high speed burst and shoot off about 40 frames of him doing that maneuver.
Well, it's at 1/200th of a second. That's still pretty slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For anything like this, I would be up at 1/1000th of a second easily.
There's a hidden treasure in this. Click in the window on the right hand side behind the rocking chair. It's totally it's like this hidden anachronism in the picture. There's somebody leaning on a car, reflected in the window of this.
It's Jim McWilliams.
No, not this time, although my name is Jim Bob, so.
Jim Bob.
Boy, howdy.
So any suggestions for improvements on this one, Jim? I think.
Yeah, just bring back the highlights a little bit, but there's
I think a little more contrast too.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's all kinds of room for some contrast. If you push the dehaze, clarity, texture, that could all be interesting to see, and then ramp your exposure up again to compensate for what you're doing there.
Yeah, it seems a little flat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has all kinds of room to do all kinds of manipulations like that. It's a great starting image. One thing I would say to watch out for in a composition like this is on the left, where that column is on the left, and then there's just a little sliver of space to the left of the column. Just bring it up and touch the column there. There you go.
Or just leave out the column.
I don't know about that one.
No.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, just bring it. I would, like I say, just bring it to the column, and would be good. But there's a great tonal range and depth of texture to work with in this image.
Thanks.
And talk about carrying the details all the way from the shadows to the highlights. This this image carries the detail all the way through. If you look up under the eave of the roof of the barn over there, on the left side, up there, the detail is still up there in the shadow, and you look up in the clouds, and the detail is still in the clouds and everywhere else in this. The midtones are it's a little bit flat in the midtones, but other than that, really nice.
How's that?
Mm-hmm.
Increase it a little bit using the color gradient. You don't have to use color gradient, guys. You can actually use, this is the only place where you have midtone ability. And so you can use this for your midtones without touching the colors.
Yep.
Just a
you
little,
can do it in Photoshop too, but if you don't want to make that trip to Photoshop, you have a little more control with a few things you can do with the midtones in Photoshop. There's a few different ways to isolate and manipulate the midtones in Photoshop. But what Lynn just showed you is great if you just want to do something quick in Lightroom.
Jack, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
You brought a picture in early on when you first started coming to camera club, and it was two people. Not two people. I remember being one person. They had an enlarged throat or something.
I'm sorry, Robert. I didn't understand your question.
There was a picture you brought in, and I think it was in one of the places you visit where you did your doctor deal. And it was a person, and they had like a growth on them. I think it's on their throat or on their.
She had a big thyroid. Yes, you have a good memory.
Yeah.
My goodness, that was 7 years ago or something.
Well, I pointed out that the tonal range on that was very flat.
Good gracious, that's incredible. How do you remember that? What are you taking?
And so you have brought your world upside down.
Well, thank you.
upside down and right side up.
Yeah. After being cut down many times, you start learning after a while.
So yeah, this is a marked difference from that shot.
Thank you. But I'm impressed at your memory. I remember exactly the picture, and you're right. She's absolutely flat. She had that huge thyroid she's a lady in Africa that I took.
Right.
But yeah, you've got an incredible memory. Wow. I'll have to remember that. All right. Thank you.
Lynn, I'm gonna have to do you in.
All right.
Because you lead me in with the lightest portion of your photograph at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
And by leading me in with the lightest portion at the bottom makes it hard to move forward.
Okay. So with infrared, unfortunately, that's the sun is shining on that part, and that just makes it so much lighter. I mean, I think I did darken it up some.
I have a different perspective on this one. Those trees at the bottom really draw my attention, and personally, I would love to see more of the trees.
Really?
At the expense of, not so much sky and all the clouds up there, those big puffy clouds. If it were cut off there and then showing more trees, those white trees at the bottom, I would like to see them coming into the frame more. Down in the center, they come very close to grazing the bottom of the screen. I would like to see them brought up, to like Rule of Birds area at the expense of the clouds. It's
Jim, you don't get to steal my thunder on this one. The reason why I point out the foreground being the lightest portion is, and I say I don't want to go any further than that, tells me that you should have more trees in there.
Oh, okay.
More of the trees in the foreground, because if it's holding me there, then what's the point of me going back? Because I'm wanting to see more of what's in the foreground as opposed to what's in the background.
Okay. Okay.
So Jim, you and I are saying the exact same thing.
Just a different way.
Yeah.
Okay. Just FYI, that's you can see here with infrared how it cuts through the haze over mountains. So because this was very hazy. With regular, you couldn't see most of this. In fact, you'll see the next picture. I don't think it was taken the same day, but it's the same place, I think. And this one here, the haze is much thicker. So you can't see all the details that you can see with the infrared.
The bottom dark base is forcing me inside the photograph though, toward the light.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Lee's.
The color transition across that end of the spectrum is really beautiful on this.
Yeah, it's that we look. This was actually out the back of the house we rented. So this is what we saw every night.
Beautiful. Jim Hagan must have checked out.
No, I'm still here.
He's still here.
I'm waiting for Robert.
Go ahead and click in there. The rear end is in focus, but the front end is not.
Yeah.
And if you zoom back out, there's a big dark vertical line stabbing right into it up there.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I see it now, but I didn't see when I was doing it.
That's what happens when we look at our own photographs too much. We miss things like that.
Whose photograph was this one?
This is Lee Wen's.
Oh.
Was she there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have the physical space and leeway where you were to take a couple steps to your left?
It's the fence. It's a wire fence.
Between you and the cow, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Was there a fence to your left, or could you have walked to your left a couple steps?
Oh, I maybe could, but it's a fence, so I.
The reason I'm asking is there's a palm tree growing out of the top of that cow, and a couple steps to the left would have put the cow in the gap between the trees.
Yep.
As opposed to
right
having the cow right under the tree with the tree going out.
Oh, I see. Where okay. I see.
Yeah, he has this funny pom pom sticking out of his back.
Okay.
A couple steps to the left would have put the cow in between the trees.
Right here, yeah.
And if you really wanted to compose it, take the cow and put him on the left-hand side.
You gotta put him over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
just say, cow, move over there.
Content aware move tool in Photoshop. Just grab the cow and put him over there.
Wouldn't that be the move tool?
Yes.
Pretty much the move tool.
Hey, Jim. Jim McWilliams, stop milking this.
It's utterly ridiculous. Yeah.
We taught Jack how to do this, and now we created a monster.
This is really cool. Very geometric, very fractal, very interesting composition, and what you see through it. This reminds me of like a special effects from the original Star Trek series or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy right here, and there's like 2 monitors.
It looks like the bridge of the Enterprise when they're going through a time warp or something.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that was done with the cell phone after Lynn taught me the programs to use for it.
Is that at International Mall?
No, that was not at the International Mall.
Was that at your house?
No, that wasn't.
Where was it?
That was in a store in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool with a cell phone.
I like
Yeah,
it.
that's done with a cell phone.
That's average Cam Pro, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Average Cam Pro. Yeah, these cell phones are getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
Now you tell me after I spent
I went
thousands
to
of
the T-Mobile.
dollars.
The story is I went to T-Mobile and I asked him, what's the best camera? What's the phone with the best camera? He says, you want to buy a phone with the best camera? I said, that's exactly right. I've got a phone here that dials numbers very well and I don't need for a phone. I want a camera.
I can carry it in my pocket.
That's right. And
So what'd you buy?
got the iPhone. Got the iPhone Max, the 12
Yeah,
Max,
that's what I
the
want
Pro
to get.
Max. Yeah.
The 12
Yeah.
Max Pro, yeah.
Yeah.
Got 3 lenses on it.
Yeah.
I can't decide whether I want to get that now or wait till the September.
Yeah, the new one's
release.
coming out in October, probably September, October.
I love this shot.
This is a good shot, yeah. Caesar here.
Yeah. But he's not consistent either.
Yeah.
Because
Was
I
he
told him
in
I
an
put his name
ultralight
on these
when he-
shots. Go ahead.
Was
Jack.
he in an ultralight when he took was he in an ultralight when he took this?
No. I've got shots like
Good.
this. If you're at the right angle and they're because they look at you, you can't tell. You look like you're right across from them. If you got a long lens, I mean, let's see, there's no information on here. So this is probably a 500, 600 millimeter lens. And look at it. This thing's got a silver bracelet on.
I was gonna say, I bet in the raw image you could probably read the bracelet.
Yeah. Yes, that eye is pretty darn sharp. I mean, this is, you don't need everything in focus. You just need that face and that eye.
Yeah, there's just enough motion in that it really works, that really implies the motion of flight with like I say, with the eye and the beak and the fish and the talons being tack sharp.
This is another one of those shots where I was looking at it and I saw the eye and how sharp it was, and it was like, wow, this is an amazing shot. There's a little bit of a distraction underneath the eagle, but other than that, I thought this was a great shot.
Yeah, the really dark whatever it is below and ahead of the beak there. I agree with that being a slight compositional distraction.
Yeah, you
I
can
agree with you, Jim.
paint that out in Photoshop real easy. This one's really nice. It's a little over sharpened, but he probably had to crop it quite a bit. It always is good to get this kind of a perspective when he's obviously down on the ground shooting at this bird at eye level, which is not an easy feat to do with these small birds, because these guys are only about maybe 5 inches tall.
At best.
Yeah, it does look to me there is depth of field through the depth of the bird, but the ground itself doesn't appear to match that. It looks as though the bottom of the image was digitally softened to match the out of focus blur in the top of the image, and it's a very tight horizontal line across the bottom of that, where it appears to have been manipulated across the bottom, where those grains of sand just instantly go from tack sharp to ultra blur.
Yeah, I mean, if you
With
shoot
no
that low,
transition.
Yeah, if you shoot that low with the long lens, you're gonna have some blurring down at the bottom, but it's gonna go gradually up to that. Even if
Yeah,
you've
there's
got
going to be a
right.
transition. That looks, that's a very hard
Yeah.
edge, very sudden transition from ultra soft
Right.
to ultra sharp. That looks manipulated.
Yeah, you can see it right here
Mhm.
really easily. There's a line. Yeah.
And that was my ding on that shot.
The other thing that I noticed was the copyright information at the bottom.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I told
Caesar's-
her about that last week.
Yeah, Caesar forgets that he's got those on his images sometimes, and yeah, he apologized last time. I think he forgot again this month. So this is not a tree. This is the tree at Purple Tree. Everybody takes a picture of this tree.
Karen, you
I have-
included a lot of foreground in this. Tell me why.
I agree. Bingo.
Now it's the tree. Karen, you here? We can't hear you.
My dog was barking. So, go ahead.
I was saying you included a lot of foreground in there.
I did. I did because I liked the colors and I just liked the patterns in it.
Well, here's what I want you to know. If you're going to include the foreground like that, give me some clarity to that foreground.
Okay.
Because just the color alone, I don't need that much of it.
The color mimics the color in the sky, but it becomes too much and it overpowers it as opposed to being balanced with it by taking some of it out.
Okay.
And your horizon is not out in the middle, and that takes the horizon off the middle too.
It now overpowers the balance of that,
Yeah.
the way that matches it. Now, the other thing I would say, maybe a little bit of a step to the left or doing some, retouching in Photoshop, the branch coming in from the lower right and coming up almost, it points right at the lower branches of that trees and almost intersects, and it breaks the water completely, touching the shoreline on the other side. That right there, if that were eliminated, it would be a much stronger visual there.
Okay.
Yeah, and this tree is really hard to shoot because it's in a spot where it's hard to get to it without a lot of stuff in the way, like you're seeing here.
Mhm.
That's the biggest problem with this tree.
That would not be a difficult removal in Photoshop.
No, it would.
Jim?
The fact that it continues all the way through and intersects with the shoreline on the other side and completely breaks the water and looks like it's angling right to connect into the lower branches of that tree is really awkward.
Okay.
Jim Sykes, Karen said she does not like your return. She whispered and gave me in the chat. She said I scored really big and got a lot of points last month. I was at the top of my game last month, and then you come back. He said I scored a 23 or 24 last month.
Oh, what happened? Yeah. Nobody saw the little men in the window.
All right, guys, that's it.
That's great. Thank you.
That was good.
Everybody.
Hope to see everybody
Thanks, everyone.
next
See
Friday
everybody
night.
next Friday.
Thank
See
you.
you
Yeah.
guys.
Looking forward to it.
See you guys later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
What
Good
time
night.
are we supposed to be there next week?
7 o'clock.
Can anyone hear me speaking?
What?
I hear you speaking.
What time are we supposed to be there next week?
7 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good week.
You guys, see ya.
Bye.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.